Third person dead from crowd surge at GloRilla concert. All right, this is actually something I want to get into. Maybe there may not even be an article for this, but we're looking for an article right now because everybody's saying the same thing. Are y'all gonna keep that same energy you have for GloRilla that you had for Travis Scott when all those people died at Astroworld? GloRilla concert deaths. Look, there's nothing. All right, here we go. Forbes. All right, here we go. Let's. All right, they did write an article. Good. Jesus Christ, stop with the ads. All right, let's jump into this. GloRilla concert stampede. Third person dead from crowd surge in Rochester. Top line: 3 people have died from a crowd surge Sunday night at a GloRilla concert in Rochester, New York. Local officials confirmed Thursday as investigators continue to examine the cause of deadly stampede that left 7 other people injured. A 35-year-old concert goer was the third person to die as a result of stampede. Police announced confirming the woman named Aisha Stevens passed away at a Rochester area hospital where she had been taken in critical condition. Haskins' death follows the death of 33-year-old Rondijia Belton and Brandy Miller, 35, who also died in the crowd surge. Police believe the stampede started as people at the show believed they heard gunfire inside the venue and started rushing to the exits as the concert was wrapping up around 11 p.m. Sunday night through police later confirmed no shots had been fired. In a post on Twitter, GloRilla said she had learned about the crowd surge roughly an hour after police said it started and said she was devastated and heartbroken over the tragic deaths that happened after Sunday's show. Okay, so this is a bit different. GloRilla said she hadn't even learned about the crowd surge, during when it was like she learned it after the fact. And the crowd surge, from what I understand, is just a large amount of movement from a large portion of the crowd in one direction or another, right? Hence the stampede. Anyways, and she was devastated and heartbroken over the tragic deaths that happened after Sunday's show. Wow, that's nice, but uh, you know, okay, well, we'll wait till the end for me to say something. Adding, my fans mean the world to me. Praying for their families and for a speedy recovery of everyone affected. Preliminary reports indicated 1 person had died and 2 more were in critical condition, fighting for their lives after being trampled as concert goers surged toward the exit doors following the concert. Rochester Police Chief David Smith said in a press conference Monday. Ikea Hayes, a concert goer who survived the stampede, told local station WHEC she remembered watching the light flash before my eyes as she fell to the ground, saying she was holding onto another woman on the ground. Rochester police shut down the Main Street Armory indefinitely following the concert. Don't know what that is. Denying the venue's 1 year renewal of its entertainment and license. Oh boy. Smith announced in a new conference calling the decision to deny the license one step we can immediately take to ensure that the events of Sunday night were not repeated. Smith said he denied the venue's application after officials from the venue failed to show up to a meeting with police in the wake of the stampede. Okay, wake of the stampede. The crowd surge follows another stampede at a November 2021. Okay, see, now they're going to mention him. This is how they usually do. 2021 Travis Scott concert at Astroworld Festival in Houston, where 10 people were killed. Attorneys representing plaintiffs in a lawsuit filed against Scott, festival organizers, and promoter Live Nation claim 5,000 people were injured at the concert, including 700 that needed extensive medical treatment. More than 150 people were killed in another stampede at a Halloween event in Seoul, South Korea last October, with nearly 200 more injured as a result of the crowd surge, which took place in a narrow alleyway in central Seoul. Okay. There really isn't no positive thing to say about this story I can think of the top of my head. The first thing I'd like to do is, obviously, you may not hear me, but well wishes, well wishes and condolences to the family of the people who lost their lives um, in this tragic freak accident. And then, of course, the next thing I would say a speedy recovery to everybody who's injured, and is currently recuperating. But after that, I want to say it's spooky, weird, and we're not trying to push a thing where now that Travis Scott got got lashes, not whipped, but like, he got heavily punished for what happened. And I know the situation is currently different, and I'll go over the situation. We're not trying to push for that, but it is under the expectation of what we think how people should be reacting based off of what happened to Travis. That's why they mentioned Travis Scott concert Astroworld Festival. So these festival, like Travis Scott Festival, I think similar to Drake, it's more like a collaboration. It's not like, all right, I'm holding a show, and then I need people to perform at the show. I'm making it a hip hop show, and maybe I have a headliner, maybe not. But the whole point is, I need someone to be a part of the show. I'm a promoter, and I want to make put on a great show. So I get people who people want to obviously listen to. And then that's where an artist comes in, like GloRilla and stuff like that. So GloRilla is hired to do the show. The only responsibility she has for the show is showing up and performing, and that's about it. Astroworld wasn't really like that. Astroworld is kind of undertucked and fully aligned with the overall brand of Travis Scott, right? I'm sorry, you guys. I'm not the hugest Travis Scott fan, but I'm pretty sure he had an Astroworld album that came out. I don't know if it was an album or something else, but I'm pretty sure it was an album that came out. I'm really sorry I don't know this information. I don't follow him like that, but he had this is his kind of. I know it wasn't him solely who put on this whole production, but it was him and his team and other people that they collaborated with that put on this show and festival. So first and foremost, that is a big difference from GloRilla being hired, because no matter what, even if GloRilla can see everything that was going on and she was there live while it was happening and blah 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 blah, she has to have, you know, medical staff. She has to have a security staff, like not just for her, but the security staff for the venue. So the venue has its own security staff. That's supposed to be on the responsibility on the promoters and the producers who put on the show. And that's the thing why people came for Travis Scott anyways, right? I mean, I think the main one was like, hey, dude, you should have been able to see people in the crowd. I think people were literally recording themselves being like, yo, stop the show, stop. Someone's hurt here, stop. Trying to get his attention. And it seemed like, I think there's some videos where it seemed like he's looking at them, but he keeps going anyways. It's a show. It's tough, man. Like I said, we're not trying to be like, since you guys gave him all of this, we need you to give her something. It's just like, well, since you guys are, appropriately sensitive to this, we're just figuring out. We're just trying to be like, hey, how come there's not? Because I know there's difference. I know there's differences, and from what I've read from here, um, in the post school, she said it was devastating and heartbroken over the traffic deaths that happened on Sunday's show. But it said she had learned about the crowd surge roughly an hour after police. So learned about it doesn't mean that it wasn't happening while it was going on. And it says that this happened at the end of the show. And I'm not sure if she is the headliner, but she is the biggest name that I've seen from this show. Maybe there was other names, but no matter what, they named her. And 35-year-old consecrated third person to die as well as all. Yeah, this happened at the end of the show as the concert was wrapping up around 11. I don't know if they mean the end of the show, like the end of someone actual performing, which is I'm assuming, or end of the show as in everybody is on their way wrapping up and leaving, because some people hang around, for a little bit, and then everybody's, well, most people pour out, some people hang around, and then finally everybody leaves, and that's the end of the whole concert in and of itself. But it doesn't matter. The whole idea is that we're trying to figure out how much responsibility would be allocated to her in this instance, and what could she possibly have done, even if worst case scenario she saw the surge happening. You know, I remember there was a Selena clip. I'm not sure if this is real or not, but let's look it up on YouTube. There's a clip of Selena calming down a crowd. Selena calming crowd. It's probably going to show from the movie, but that's as good as we can get. What? Well, let's see this first, because this looks like the real one.
Pizza at Tim's?
But I think this is what people are
Flatbread
expecting
pizza,
our artists to
made
do.
with
Be
rich
like, all right,
marinara sauce,
let's put on a
flavorful
slow
cheeses,
song and
and
calm
topped with
everybody
slow-cooked
down and
chicken.
pisses up. Like, I don't know if it works like that. And this saying the stage did collapse. Jesus. God dang it, you guys, with these terrible cameras. I know there's a camcorder, bro. But I'm still disappointed. This is crazy. Give me the subtitles. I'm just kidding. It's all right. It's fine. We're gonna have to fast forward this, guys. I don't know when this collapsing is. Is it already collapsed? Okay, no. I didn't collapse. Okay, something must have happened. What just happened? Screw this. Whatever. I'm watching the movie version. This is way better. So this is what I think people wanted in terms of control. You know, they were pushing up so hard against the fence that it was making the stage collapse, right? And obviously they're pushing up so hard because they're trying to see her, right? This is obviously a difference from the surge that
We need you to go back out there and settle this crap down.
that was probably happening for the Travis Scott concert, and obviously in GloRilla, because that was at the end. It was because they thought they heard a gunshot.
Sure.
Yeah, I can do it.
So now they're asking her to control it. But remember, they're like, we think the only reason why they're asking her because they're all here for her, right? They're asking them to back up, but they're not listening. So they want her, who's the artist, to tell them to back up. And she's scared too. Like, look, they could not listen to her as well. Like, that's another thing. I mean, she's the person out of highest probability they would listen to, right? But it's not as simple as go out there. These are your fans. You should be able to control them. It's just like, to a degree. Oh my gosh. They're literally going to cut out the most important part here. Yeah, for frick's sakes. Okay, whatever. She starts singing. I think they all calm down, and they ask her to back up. See, look at the people in the comments. After the Astroworld tragedy with Travis Scott, I had to see how a true class act handles a crowd surge. That's, yeah, exact. This scene always made me nervous as a kid, but the way she handled it showed how much power and grace she had. This still goes, oh my God, I'm in tears. She had so much power. Selena was something else. My daughter's, like, they didn't show it, but from what I saw, from what I remembered from the movie, she just sings like a slow song, right? Because she's doing like the quick, fast beat song, and they're all hyped up, and she just starts doing a slow song, and then they stay still just to listen to her, and that calms them down, right? Not the like. So I'm like, okay, well, if the solution was a slow song, sure, Travis could have put on some Usher or something. I don't know. This is my confession. Like, I don't know. Maybe he could put that stuff on. But if it's his song or it's his show and he has to do all of his songs, I don't know how many slow songs he's got. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how many slow songs he's got. I do not think, I can't find it. I don't think it's here, but I don't know how many slow songs he's got, man. So it's unfair. Like it's not really it's a one-to-one comparison. And like we said, we're not trying to blame GloRilla or Travis Scott. We're not trying to say, oh, because this will happen to Travis Scott, this should happen to GloRilla. We're just saying something real simple, man. Even it's not fair. These type of accidents are accidents, and meaning it could happen to any prominent performer. But the more prominent performer, we have an expectation that they have dealt with crowd surges before. And I think that's the thing. GloRilla is actually relatively new, right? And of course, like I said, she's not the promoter, and this is at the end of the concert, and there was a gunshot that people cited that they heard. It's like, what do you want her to do? Especially if she just finished. Like, if she just finished, and then she's wrapping up her set. She just finished. All right, everybody have a good night, and everybody's going to leave, and they're already walking out, and then they hear 5 gunshots ring out. What do you want her to do? What do you want her to do? I like I s- g- doing this over. I think it's pretty easy to understand that there are some big differences between the Travis Scott, because there was a lot of videos that came out just showing people like, hey, this person's passed out. He needs help. This person passed out. And there's video footage of Travis helping people, but at the same time, there was just an overwhelming amount of footage. And like, I'll be clear, like the public opinion on rappers already, they're not high. They're not high. The only reason why they get a pass is because black people really write out. Like, probably even maybe to even a detriment where we kind of coddle our own, and we end up crippling them than actually empowering them. But because we're on the coddle side, white people follow suit and are like, all right, listen, if y'all ain't say nothing, we don't go. And the only white people gonna say something are the Republicans, and we be like, oh, you niggas racist anyways. We don't we never want to listen to what y'all said. So going through this, it's quite a tragedy. It's easy to just say more security, more medical team, more, but it was a surge. Like a stampede is not a 40-minute progression. It can happen within an instant, and it can stop within a couple of minutes. But by then, somebody could have been stomped to death, right? So it's like it's not something so easy to control. Um, and that's the thing is, if you're doing a show, something like Travis Scott show, and that's the thing, he's known to putting on big production, hype energy, recklessness, youthful indiscretion. That's what I would call it. Youthful indiscretion. That's what he's known for. So yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap it up here. I think I've gone into this in depth.